Welcome to Crypto News that you can use, episode 10. Again, my name is Bam Hardrick, also go by Diamond Hands Bam. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to Crypto News that you can use, episode 10. Today's top stories, we're going to talk about Bitcoin could hit 250,000 by the end of 2025, says billionaire Silicon Valley investor. And also, we're going to talk about GameStop tumbles after company announces to raise 1.3 billion to buy Bitcoin. So we're going to talk about two stories today. Before we get started, I always like to talk about my social media handles. Extremely important right now. I'm trying to build my YouTube platform, so it's extremely important. If you could go to YouTube, I want you to subscribe to the Diamond Hands Bam TV platform. I do interviews, I do live trading, I do crypto news that you can use, as you can see on episode 10. So I really need your support. I really want to get to at least 100 subscribers. I believe right now I'm at 65 subscribers. So if you are watching this video, the best thing you could do for me is to get on YouTube and to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is going to be Diamond Hands Bam TV. All right, so let's get into today's prices. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I've done the crypto news that you can use, but there's definitely a lot to cover when it comes to the crypto space. All right, so right now, Bitcoin is sitting at $82,528. It is down 1.4% within the last 24 hours. It's down 1.81% within the last 7 days, and it's down 3.46% within the last 30 days. Number two, according to market cap, we have Ethereum. Ethereum right now is sitting at $1,843. It's down 1.68% as well. It's down 7% within the last 7 days. So definitely down big time with Ethereum, and it's down 20% within the last 30 days, which is huge. I believe you would consider that a correction, anywhere between 10, 15, almost 20%. So this is almost in correction territory. And then the third, but definitely not least, we have XRP. XRP right now is sitting at $2.11. It's down 3.02% within the last 24 hours. It's down 11% within the last 7 days, and it's down 4% within the last 30 days as well. So those are today's prices when it comes to the crypto market. Of course, I always like to go into a little bit more depth. I actually want to pull up today's prices on the charts, and we can get a better look at the market right now, because we're definitely in a very interesting market, especially for it to be considered a bull market cycle. So let me pull up Bitcoin on TradingView, and we'll take a look at that really quick. All right, so we can see right now, this is the 4-hour chart. Bitcoin right now is sitting at $82,155. Looking at the trend, we're definitely in a downtrend right now when it comes to Bitcoin. Me personally, as a trader, I have temporarily stopped betting on Bitcoin long right now. I'm very much in a scalper's market when it comes to cryptocurrency and the stock market in general. So my next entry point for Bitcoin on a long would actually be I would say closer to about 80,000. That's going to be the next price that I would actually consider a long. Other than that, in this market right now, trust your eyes. Like I said, on the 4-hour chart right now, Bitcoin is in a downtrend. An entry point on a possible swing trade, I would consider maybe $84,368. And I would also potentially set a second limit order around $88,250. Also considering your leverage, also make sure that you work with your stop loss as well. I always like to mention Crypto futures are extremely risky. Please only risk what you can lose to afford in today's market. So there is the price on Bitcoin. I also wanted to look at XRP really quick. All right, this is XRP right here on the 4 hour chart. Like I mentioned, XRP right now is sitting at $2.10. My next limit order entry point on XRP is actually going to be right at around that $2 range. There seems to be a lot of support when it comes to the $2 range. When it comes to XRP, it is a very good buying opportunity to get XRP at $2. Experts are experts are actually thinking XRP could hit anywhere between $50 to $75 by the end of 2025. So we're talking about XRP at $2. I would definitely consider that a huge win if you can get XRP at $2, whether it's on the buy and hold side or if you are in the crypto futures market as well. So that is XRP right now sitting at $2.10, continuing to drop a little bit. All right, and then let's get into today's first story I wanted to go over, which is going to be Bitcoin could hit 250,000 by the end of 2025, says billionaire Silicon Valley investor. So let's get that story pulled up, and I believe that story is coming from Yahoo Finance. So let's take a look at that. All right. All right. So, amid the broader crypto market correction, you might be surprised to find out that a number of high profile investors continue to double and even triple down on the optimistic predictions for Bitcoin. Billionaire Silicon Valley venture capitalist VC Tim Draper, for example, still thinks Bitcoin could hit 250,000 by the end of 2025. But just how likely is that? After all, Bitcoin is now down more than 20% from an all time high of about 109,000 in January. And it has struggled to regain the $100,000 price point since then. All right, Tim Draper's Bitcoin price predictions. The first thing you should know is that Tim Draper has been making Bitcoin predictions for the past decade. In 2024, for an example, he famously predicted that Bitcoin would hit $10,000 price tag within 3 years, which it did. Bitcoin crossed $10,000 in November of 2017. In 2018, he predicted Bitcoin would hit a price of 250,000 by the end of 2022. That didn't happen. Bitcoin reached an all-time high of 69,000 in November 2021 before the crypto market cratered in 2022, sending Bitcoin back down to about $16,000. In November 2022, at the very nadir of investor sentiment about Bitcoin, Draper predicted that Bitcoin could soon hit that seemingly unattainable $250,000 price point. Granted, Bitcoin recovered significantly in price, but came nowhere near close to hitting 250,000. Even after huge triple digit percentage rallies in 2023 and 2024, Bitcoin is still significantly less than $100,000. So is the third time the charm? Is the third time the charm? Is this the final year that Bitcoin crosses over the much anticipated $260,000 price? Key assumptions for $250,000 Bitcoin price. To answer that question, it is helpful to understand why Draper has been so bullish on Bitcoin for so long. A lot of that has to do with his perspective as a Silicon Valley VC, which is a venture capitalist. A decade ago, Draper viewed Bitcoin primarily as technological terms. It was quite simply a superior form of money. It was digital, it was algorithmic, it was protected by strong cryptography, and it benefited from obvious network effects. Early adopters will view Bitcoin as perfect money, unable to be debased by any government or central bank. But for much of the early history, Bitcoin was primarily viewed as a medium of exchange. And in fact, the original Bitcoin white paper called it a peer to peer electronic cash system. And that's exactly what it was seen to be. As a result, Draper envisioned an economic future in which people use Bitcoin to buy everyday transactions. In 2025, Draper seems to have updated his view of Bitcoin in one important way. He now appears to view Bitcoin as a store of value, in addition to being a medium of exchange. It's something that you can invest in and trust that it will preserve its value over time, and that it makes more value than any fiat currency, such as the US dollar, which can lose value over time due to factors such as inflation, which is exactly what we're going through right now. In fact, Draper recently suggested that Bitcoin will soon become the dominant currency of the world. I'm going to repeat that again. In fact, Draper recently suggested that Bitcoin will soon become the dominant currency of the world, eliminating the need for a centralized fiat currency like the US dollar at a time when the US government is carrying a $36 trillion debt load. This type of argument is setting to gain traction in the financial world. As more people move out of dollar and into Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin is going to go higher and higher, right? Imagine a tsunami of new demand as people finally give up on the US dollar and dollar denominated assets, pushing Bitcoin to unbelievably higher price levels in years to come. This might sound unlikely, but Draper still thinks people will eventually use Bitcoin for buying food and clothing, and even for paying the rent or mortgage. But how many people are actually doing that today? It has now been 15 years, and Bitcoin is still not a generally accepted medium of exchange. How high can Bitcoin go in 2025? While it might not be realistic, the $250,000 price forecasted is useful in certain respects. Most importantly, it helps to generate discussion about how and why Bitcoin has been able to gain mainstream acceptance. Instead of becoming a true medium of exchange, as many people originally thought, Bitcoin has evolved into a store of value and a long term portfolio asset. Until Bitcoin truly becomes a universal medium of exchange accepted everywhere, its ultimate upside might be capped. So if you're thinking about investing in Bitcoin in 2025, make sure you keep your expectations in check. All right. And this article is coming from Yahoo Finance. This guy is Tim Draper. He is a well known VC venture capitalist, and his expectation is that Bitcoin is going to go over 250,000. So again, with Bitcoin right now sitting at $82,000, let's say Draper is right. So we're saying at 250,000, Bitcoin is right now sitting at 82,000. You're looking at a 204% increase based on today's prices. Now, my personal prediction for Bitcoin based on my research, I think Bitcoin could hit as high as between 150 to 180,000 in 2025. I'm going to say that again. My personal prediction is that I believe Bitcoin will hit anywhere between 150 to 180,000 this year in 2025. That in itself will be a $119 increase from where prices are right now, based on 82,000. One more thing I wanted to discuss as well. If you are interested in portfolio consulting, I do offer portfolio consulting classes right now. They are 199. If you are interested in that, if you have the funds to long term hold, buy and hold with cryptocurrency, and you want to know exactly what coins that you should get into long term, hit me up in the DM. We do offer portfolio consulting within the BBA as well. All right. My next story is going to be about GameStop. GameStop was heavily in the news last week. Stock stumbles after company announces to raise 1.3 billion to buy Bitcoin. So we're going to take a look at that story as well. All right, and this one is from Yahoo Finance as well. Stock tumbles after company announces plans to raise 1.3 billion to buy Bitcoin. GameStop GME stock slid nearly 25% on Thursday as the company announced its attempt to raise 1.3 billion to buy Bitcoin. The company will attempt to raise the funds via convertible senior notes. The news comes after GameStop shares rose nearly 12% when the video game operator turned popular meme stocks said in a release that its board has unanimously approved an update to its investment policy to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. All right, the planned Bitcoin investment comes a month after CNBC reported GameStop was exploring cryptocurrency investments. On February 8th, a social media post from GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen sparked speculation over GameStop's interest in cryptocurrency. Cohen posted a picture of X on strategy or MicroStrategy CEO Michael Saylor, who has famously hitched his company to Bitcoin. It now holds more than 440,000 tokens per a February filing. The strategy has worked out well for Saylor's company, with the stock up over 84% in the last year amid a rise in the price of Bitcoin. But Wall Street strategists are hesitant to conclude that GameStop's investing in Bitcoin would mean the video game retailer stock has upside. The company's strategy, which has changed about 6 times in 3 years, is that they're going to buy cryptocurrency and be just like MicroStrategy. He added, the problem with that thinking is that MicroStrategy trades at about 2 times their Bitcoin holdings. If GameStop were to buy all Bitcoin with their 4.6 billion in cash and trade at 2 times their Bitcoin holdings, the stock would drop $5. So GameStop is in a completely different situation than MicroStrategy is essentially what this article is saying. Also, after the bell on Tuesday, GameStop reported fourth quarter earning results. The company posted 1.28 billion in net sales for the quarter, making a 28% decline from the year earlier period. For the full year, GameStop reported an adjusted EBITDA of 36.1 million, down from 64.7 million seen the prior year. All right, and that article is coming from Yahoo Finance as well. So the biggest issue I see with GameStop is just it's not enough innovation. I put GameStop in the same category as the Blockbusters and the Blockbuster. Also put it in the Redbox category. Companies that were fully invested in the brick and mortar side of business and um, did not take enough, I would say, innovation to become digital. The other thing about, I would say, about GameStop as well is that they don't have enough foot space within the online process as well. Sony owns PlayStation, and Microsoft owns Xbox. So they've pretty much locked in pretty much all portions of online gaming, and it's extremely hard for a company like GameStop to really get a footing in that industry because it's basically locked down within two companies as well. So I don't see GameStop really finding any footing within purchasing the asset of Bitcoin at all. So valiant effort, but I really think GameStop does not have a place in the space anymore. So that is my second article as well. Tell me what you think. Do you think GameStop still has a footing within the space? Do you have any suggestions? What do you think GameStop could potentially do to reclaim itself as a person within the space? Also, let me know what your Bitcoin price predictions are for 2025. Let me know how high or how low do you think Bitcoin can get within this year. Like I mentioned earlier, my Bitcoin prediction is 180,000, between 150 to 180,000. But like I said, we will see. Other than that, that is pretty much everything that I have today. If you are still watching, I definitely appreciate it. Please share my content. Please like it, whether you're on Facebook, whether you are on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Diamond Hands Bam TV. I would really appreciate it. Also, a couple of things that I'm working on as well. Like I said, within the Blockchain Bureau Academy, we do offer cryptocurrency futures. We have a Discord. We have a 6-week group training starting in the end of April, the beginning of May. So if you are interested in getting into the cryptocurrency space, specifically crypto futures, hit me up. We do have a few spots available. Also, if you are interested in getting within the stock option space, hit me up as well. I'm also a moderator within the Queen of Trades Discord, where all we talk about is stock options. It is ideal for the typical 9 to 5 person who does not have the time to do the homework, the time, the energy, and the effort to find stock options for themselves. Queen is a well-established stock option trader, and she basically calls options out, and all you have to do is to pick which ones you want to go with and which ones you choose not to. So it's very well worth the money. I believe Queen of Trades is $100 a month. Last week during the Queen of Trades Discord, I actually hit a $1,300 option that she called out with Tesla. So I made $1,300 in one trade, just going through the Queen of Trades Discord. So if you are interested in that, please hit me up as well. Other than that, I appreciate your time checking out Crypto News That You Can Use, episode 10. My name is Diamond Hands Bam, and I will see you again. I do have more interviews coming. If you look at my channel, I'm continuously doing live trading with futures, whether it's gold, whether it's oil. I'm always active on social media. If you have any questions, hit me up. Peace.